Yeah. Thank you, Jack, for the nice introduction. A little bit of background, like I say again, I work for three American companies and two Japanese MNC, and this is some of my accumulation of my experience. Okay, and I travel to Vietnam, mostly Ho Chi Minh City and also Hanoi, quite often. All right. Now I will start today with the Vietnam medical device registration and the analysis of some of the key points of the market access. All right. Now, Medipro Consultancy and Services is my own company. Okay, and I'm an affiliate consultant for Pure Global. That's why you have Pure Global's website there. Right. Now, basically, what I want to try to tell you is that in ASEAN, we have 10 countries. All right. And then you have Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and then Vietnam is actually known as the second China and is growing very, very fast, at a rate of about 8%, in medical device, uh, manufacturing and also the market. All right. And then you can see that ASEAN basically cover, right now we have close to like 680 million people in the whole ASEAN region, and that's actually bigger than Europe, So ASEAN is actually, ranked fourth right now, fifth right now, okay, and then going to the fourth by 2050, all right? So you can see that this region is really growing very fast. All right. Now, you can see here that, a total of all the ASEAN countries put together, all the six countries put together, we have about, close to $10 billion in sales, in medical device market. All right. So you can see the breakdown of Vietnam. Vietnam has 14.7% here. All right. Okay, you can see here that the data of Vietnam medical device registration. Now, you can see now the registration in Vietnam is definitely growing and is growing very, very fast. Okay, just in 2024 alone, I would say that just Chinese company alone, there are about 2,800 companies that invested in Vietnam. And then that is really one of the growing area. And they are going to be really known as a second China, I actually audited a Hanoi factory about 2 months ago, and this is actually invested by a China company, and they are actually in Guangzhou, and the engineers take the train, all the way from Guangzhou all the way to Hanoi, to supervise and run the factory there. So more and more Chinese companies and other foreign companies that are going there. And 90% of the medical devices right now in Vietnam are all imported. Okay, now in ASEAN, very important. You have to all the CSDT, which we call the Common Submission Doser Template. Okay, is according to the ASEAN Medical Device Directive, all right, and they kind of follow the GHTF guidelines, okay, and this is the document that is a common template for submission of the medical device information or to the industry. And of all the six ASEAN market, five uses the risk class they call it ACE, B, C, D, except Thailand. Thailand call it class 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the rest of different parts of the ASEAN market call their devices class A, B, C, D. Now I'll come down to Vietnam very quickly. All right. Now, Vietnam is basically a socialist republic, and that is located in Indochina. All right, bordering of the Guangxi and Yunnan, in China, connecting between Laos and Cambodia. All right, and then Vietnam is right now in the alliance of the ASEAN. Okay, in 2025, the GDP reached 514 billion US dollars. Per capita is 5,026. All right, there are right now 102 million people living in Vietnam with an annual growth of 1.23%. So Vietnam is one of the most popular, country in the world, ranking 16 in the world due to the low level of domestic production and manufacturing, especially in the R&D capabilities and the innovation capabilities of medical device are not as good as China and also the other foreign countries. All right, so that's why a lot of medical devices are being imported into Vietnam. All right, and Vietnam medical devices is rapidly growing. It has reached 2.1 billion by 2026, and then this due to hospital upgrade and their increasing demand for advanced technology, primarily coming from Japan, Germany, US, China, and Singapore. Okay, the market favor high-end diagnostics and surgical equipments. All right, and then while the production focus on consumables. Now, the regulatory framework is that Degree 98/2021 classify the devices going to the 4 categories called A, B, C, D. But as of July the 1st, 2025, all the Class B, C, and D devices have approved, marketing authorization license to be import and sold. So you can see that in January 2025, the Vietnam, in the past, they call it DMEC. Right now, they change it to IMDA, which is the Infrastructure and Medical Device Administration, all right, under the Ministry of Health. So the medical device requirements in Vietnam is in the stage of transition, and the restoration of medical device is published, on November 8, 2021, Degree 98/2021. But you see, because they have a shortage of manpower and all that, so basically, they delayed the implementation of 98/2021. So very few Class C and D market authorization license has been issued. So in such a state, they extended the validity, to December 21st, 2024, then by Degree 0723, then now extended again to June 30, 2025, because they don't have enough people and then they can't implement it quite quickly. So all these, C and D licenses are being extended. All right. So together, you see, with a decline in Vietnam's, birth rate, resulting in aging population. All right. So basically, there are a lot of increased mortality and morbidity, account for 70% of total death in Vietnam. And you can see that, the public hospitals in Vietnam are all upgrading their facility, opening new department for specialty department, providing opportunities for the US suppliers. And then public hospital dominated the healthcare system. It accounts for 86% of total hospital number in Vietnam. I must tell you that Vietnam has about 1,000 over hospitals, and it's still growing very fast. Now, the Vietnam healthcare sector is right now facing several changes, because most of the hospitals has outdated and is also face chronic, overcrowding. Hospital in Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City receive up to 60% of the country's patients, and is operate at 200% capacity right now, because they just don't have enough nurses and doctors to go around. Okay, a lot of their medical equipment, the public hospital in Vietnam is obsolete and need improved replacement fast. So the hospital lack, sufficient equipment for surgery and intensive care unit. So Vietnam public hospital largely depends on the state budget to upgrade their facility. So there's a shortage of, qualified medical staff in common hospital and the major imports include diagnostic imaging, MRI, CT, and then ultrasound, surgical and disposable products. Okay, local production are all limited to very low-end surgical masks, hospital beds, consumables, and all that. But of course, they want to look at AI and digital health also. All right. So basically, the market access is such. All right. When you submit a product registration, normally it's only 10 to 15 days for Class A and Class B. That means Class A is all the devices used outside the body. Class B is all tissue, contact. That means basically IV sets, syringes, needles, and all these are Class 2 devices. So the basic background is that, last time is known as the DMEC, but right now it's called the MDA. Okay, and again, I said again, is that they followed the degree number 98/2021. Okay, all right. So this is the kind of things that they do. All right. So now, on the Vietnam product registration, they are already like Class A, you just have to do a declaration of the applied standard. Class B, just do a declaration also of the applied standard. Class C, you basically, do marketing authorized registration. Class D, marketing authorized registration. Okay. And then conformity assessment is that, technical information submitted to the Vietnam in English and Vietnamese, okay, and all that. So, all right. So these are all the CSDT that you have to comply with, okay, the common submission doser template. And of course, there's a precondition for system requirement. If you have or any of these like FDA, TGA, Cal Canada, Japan, Switzerland, and all that kind of thing, you'll go on a little bit of the faster route. And of course, the main system is ISO 13485. Okay, that once you have 13485, you can submit, and then you must have a local representative to submit all this information for you. All right. So basically, the overview of a registration process is as follow. Just appoint a local representative in Vietnam, okay, and then providing him with a marketing authorization holder. All right, confirm the product's classification, prepare the material according to the product specification, whether it's Class A, Class B, Class C or Class D, according to the sales license path. Now you have to pay the official fee according to the application route. A and B are just paid to health, management department, and then where the MHA is located, and then category C and D are sent to the National Health Bureau and Vietnam. Okay, so the authority to review the application asks whether it's necessary to issue a subsidy and or representative of the Vietnam, the MAH, need to assist in the issuing of subsidy already. Now, the authority will give you a review opinion, and after the approval of A and B product, a receipt note will be issued, and with a what you call a marketing authority code number. When you have a code number, the information we publish on the authority database, and C and D will be sent to the by the Vietnamese health authority with a receipt note corresponding the marketing authority code number. Okay, and then what they do, they'll issue a certificate listing of the post-market surveillance with a local representative in Vietnam. They need to issue a letter of authority, to assist the importer and the distributor designated by the manufacturer in import matters. Now, the certificate issued by the authority is good for 5 years. Okay, all right, 5 years. So you can have more than one marketing authority holder, but you need to have separate registration application. So each MHA need to have a marketing authorization code. Okay, very important for the device. So if the manufacturer has different importer, you need to collaborate with local authorized representative, which is the MAH in Vietnam, and then prescribing the LOA of different importers and manufacturers need to cooperate. Each copy of the LOA can be charged one time. MAH need to authorize the third party, to do the import. MAH can also be the importer. Okay, and other co-importer need to be designated by the manufacturer, need to be authorized by the MOH to import the equipment. All right, so the importer must submit a custom file, custom situation in Vietnam. Those include the custom declaration, commercial invoice, BL, reports of import license, the MAC, which is a code, notice of application standards, declaration of value, and all that. So at present, there's no procedure for transferring of the registration in Vietnam. So the manufacturer need to look at new certificate for the equipment to be exported and need to apply for the letter of MAC, the code, and then notice of application for the standard, and then through the Vietnamese local authority representative. So Vietnamese authority registration required to have a valid free sale certificate. So, which the free sale certificate of country of origin, let's say if it is in China, it's NMPA free sale certificate, for the reference country recognized by the authority, and the certificate of free sale needs to be notarized and authenticated. All right. Now, so these are all, you can see that, manufacturer can choose different MAH, same product and all that. And you can see here that, in Class A, there's a receipt note, declaration of apply. Class A and Class B, just a declaration of apply standard. Class C and D, you need to have the MAC and publish online detail, and then sales license with new marketing. So you can see here that Class A is 500 million Vietnamese dollar, which is US $20 is immediate. Class B is US $60, immediate again. And Class C is $120. Target is 90 days, but sometimes they take 1 year. Remember, I said they don't have enough manpower, in the ministry. So sometimes they take a lot longer. And Class D is 120 US dollars again. Target is 90 years, but you might take, So Class A is long-term validity. B, C, and D is valid for 5 years. All right. So these are all the certificate valid for 5 years. So opportunities is that basically there are 4 main classes of medical device. The largest are the government-funded hospitals, 85% on market. Front-on hospital clinic are also large purchaser, but this facility usually purchase supply from the sponsoring countries. So local private hospital, will we'll have to take a look at whether the research and education will also account for some of this demand. Medical institution, education and research institutions are open to experimenting new system and innovative method. End user present an excellent strategic opportunity to develop partnership given the desire to explore this new technology. Of course, there's a large amount of public funds which shall be allocated to upgrading the hospital in the provinces, but the national scale, hospital upgrades and construction of project has been approved by the government. And Vietnam also received a large amount of international aid in form of loans and donated medical equipment. Several small projects are taking place in Vietnam, including those funded by the World Bank and also the EU. All right, so that is the end of my slide. But the one that I want to show you is very important is this one. Yeah,
Yeah, Andrew, please go ahead. You are muted, Andrew.
I think Andrew have something on his side. For the time being, I think Andrew mentioned this is his presentation. So Andrew, you are back?
Yeah, back. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
Please continue.
Okay,
Thank
no
you,
problem. So what I'm trying to say is that this is one of the important slides. And if you have anything, any questions and anything on the Vietnam registration, I can be your help. Now, Pure Health Global last year alone has made about close to 300 product registration in Vietnam. We are quite active in Vietnam. We got a local person that work from our Ho Chi Minh office. Okay, so any question or anything that you need, from Ho Chi Minh City, I can help. And I got a very good friend that started a Taiwanese factory about 30 years ago. He went to Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, to start IV set manufacturing and also bloodlines manufacturing. So a lot of the consumers, the plastic medical products are manufactured in mostly Ho Chi Minh City. And then about 10 years ago, B. Brown transfer some of their production all the way to Hanoi plant. Okay, so I know Vietnam quite well, Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. So if you need any information about, coming to Vietnam or you need a very good OEM manufacturer, I can help out in Vietnam very, very strongly. Okay, all right. So any question, anybody?
I think there's a question in the group chat. Maybe I'll read it for you, Andrew. So
Right.
Hian is asking, with the current FDA crisis in Vietnam and the overhaul of teams and personnel, are you seeing some changes or challenges?
Yes, there are a lot of challenges because, they just don't have enough people. You have to, you see, I told you for Class B and Class D device, although the registration take very short, it's supposed to be 90 days. but they could take a long time longer. Some of them take as much as 12 months to get an approval. So you got to be patient. If you are class 3 and class B and class C and class D product, all right, class D and class D product is going to take very long. So you just have to be patient.
Any other question from the team, from the audience?
So sorry, I can't hear you, Jack.
Yeah. So another one in the group chat, while Jack is trying to connect back again, is the question from Maria. Is there any advantage to have the regulatory approval from Singapore versus FDA CE mark in terms of speed, cost of the approval process in Vietnam?
Okay, one very good question. Okay, now most of the companies would like to have a regulatory approval with HSA in Singapore, because once you have the Singapore, HSA approval, the whole ASEAN market open up for you. The ASEAN country will give priority, to Singapore HSA approvals. That means, for instance, Thailand. Right now, they can have 90 day, 30 days shorter time for evaluation. Okay, and Vietnam, they also look at, because they already passed HSA Singapore, then they know that you have gone through very stringent, approvals. Give you an example that, I got some bone implant materials, that we registered successfully in Singapore, but it took us about 1.5, close to 2 years to get the approval for this bone implant material. But when you went to Vietnam, it only takes like 6 months, because they already got approval in Singapore. So that is an advantage for having, HSA approval in Singapore to help in the Vietnam registration.
Right, thanks, Andrew. And the next coming is Jack's question. Any tips to make the regulatory approval appeals quicker?
Okay, first of all, you must make sure that if you have a class C and D product, you must have what you call a clinical evaluation report. You must have very good, what you call safety, performance, and also reliability and stability report. So this, clinical evaluation report is very important for you to submit to any of the ASEAN country, including Vietnam. So make sure you have your CER, well done.
Right, thanks, Andrew. And the last question in the group chat is from Jungsu. My company's product are dental restoration, crown and bridges, and applicants, splint made in office using 3D printer and AI. Usually the material is categorized as medical device. They have Korean approval and Singaporean approval. Does this mean that we don't have to wait for the actual 1+ year, and any particular rules or policy for dental restoration device and applicants, not the implants?
Okay, remember I said again, once you have Singapore HSA approval, you have a very strong case. Now, put all the documents together, the same documents, comply it, and then if you have very good safety data, performance data, that will be a plus, when you send it to the Vietnam Ministry of Health. Okay, you have a very strong case there. Okay.
Thanks, Andrew. So I think that's all the questions that we have in the group chat. Any other more questions that you wanted to ask, Andrew? Will you share the PowerPoint slide after the session?
Yes, I will share the PowerPoint slide, but you can see that a lot of my slides here are self-explanatory, and then I already put in all the, frequent asked questions. And these are very good questions that are all from our pure global clients, which is quite substantial. And this form a very good, basis for you to enter the Vietnam market. Okay.
Yeah.
Next month, my colleague will talk on Thailand market. And you can see that our pure global team are all very, very knowledgeable and very, very knowledgeable in the local countries that they handle.
Right, thanks, Andrew. So just to address to Maria's question, so we've recorded this session. So as part of Tech Brews team, we will actually trim this into a recording and post it into your YouTube Academy, or rather Tech Brews Academy. So you can actually replay this PowerPoint or this recording at your own time. And we will be sharing the slides with you. Just let us know your email, and then please feel free to reach out. We'll be able to send you the PowerPoint slide. With that, if there's anything further questions, feel free to reach out to Andrew in the contact number that he has actually shown. Maybe Andrew, you want to show your contact details?
Yep. This is my contact detail. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. So we are on the dot in terms of time. So thanks everyone once again for attending today's regulatory workshop. As what Andrew mentioned, our next session is Thailand regulatory framework. And please feel free to join us in our next session. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone, for your time, and look forward to having you soon.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Hope you have a
Thank you, Andrew.
a good session. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good day. Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.